and welcome.
I'm Scott and this is Victoria. Today we're going to cover the basic steps involved when installing Shaw's Simple Lock Glueless Laminate over a suitable subfloor.
There's no decision more important to a beautiful and functional home than your choice of flooring. Today, consumers everywhere are discovering how a premium quality Simple Lock floor from Shaw not only enhances their home's beauty and value, but can also be installed quickly and without glue, which means no messy cleanup.
This product has a proven and patented locking mechanism which prevents gapping and a specially sealed tongue and groove that protects against moisture. Additionally, you can walk on your Simple Lock floor immediately after installation, as well as remove and reinstall it somewhere else.
As you walk, you'll learn about several important aspects of a glueless flooring installation. These include the tools you will need, job site evaluation, floor preparation, installation techniques. We've also included segments detailing things that you need to know for specific locations, such as kitchens and bathrooms, stairways and steps, and installing around pipes. In the care and clean, your Simple Lock floor looking like new.
No floor is immune to the everyday mishaps of life, including nicks and scratches. So we've included a segment on how to repair minor imperfections. We've also included a section on how to replace a damaged plank, although we strongly recommend that a plank replacement be handled by a flooring installation specialist.
Well, come on, let's get started. Laminate flooring, and we've had the materials delivered to the job site. First, let's discuss the tools you'll need for this installation. They include the following: a broom with a carbide blade, eye and ear protection, a hammer, pull bar, 1/4-inch wall spacers, tapping block, a tape measure, pencil, and a utility knife. Before installing any laminate flooring, you must first ensure that the location is suitable for the product. This means verifying that any pre-existing moisture problem is resolved. Also, make sure the area has a controlled temperature between 65 and 75 degrees with a humidity level of 45 to 60%.
In the event you're installing directly over concrete or a concrete subfloor that is covered with ceramic, marble, stone, vinyl tile, or linoleum, or for excessive moisture. To do so, cut 3 foot by 3 of polyethylene plastic, one for every 200 square feet of floor space, like this. Spread around different areas of the floor for a more accurate evaluation. Tape all edges down firmly, sealing them directly. Leave down for 72 hours. If moisture forms under the plastic or if the cement darkens, seal with a concrete sealer. Call Shaw Information Center at 1-800-441-74.
For optimum aesthetic appeal, laminate floors should be laid parallel to the direction of the incoming light source. In doing this, you'll have a visually appealing installation that helps diminish the appearance of seams between panels. You'll also improve the structural stability of the floor while reducing the amount of cutting required.
Simple Lock flooring can be installed over a variety of floors, including concrete, ceramic tile, plywood, sheet vinyl, vinyl tile, marble, and hardwood floors that have been nailed down. All carpeting and hardwood floors that have been glued down over concrete. Today we are installing over a plywood subfloor. To ensure a quality installation that will provide many years of beauty and trouble-free enjoyment, adequate subfloor preparation is critical. Must be dry, level, clean, and structurally sound. If you have any doubts about the soundness of your floor, it would be best to consult the advice of an installation professional. Ensuring that the subfloor, there's an easy way to determine if your subfloor is flat and level. Hammer a nail into the floor at the center of the room like this. Tie a string to the nail next to the floor. Stretch the string to the farthest wall. Move the string around the entire perimeter of the room while a second person looks under the string and marks those gaps which are greater than 3/16 of an inch. Check the entire flooring area. If your floor has more variation, it must be adjusted before installing Simple Lock. Let's talk first about what you need to consider if you have a wood subfloor. If you have pulled up carpet and carpet padding, be sure to remove all padding staples, uneven glue residue, and any pieces of material left on the subfloor. Check the subfloor for uneven joints and squeaks. To reduce squeaks, screw the subfloor to the floor. If your wood subfloor needs leveling, use a sander to remedy the problem.
Now, let's talk about what you need to consider if you have a concrete subfloor. If you have removed carpet and carpet padding, be sure to eliminate any traces of glue residue or material from the subfloor. If the concrete subfloor needs repair or is uneven, you'll need to grind down the high points or use a leveling compound. If you have hardwood over a concrete subfloor, the wood must be removed along with any glue residue. All floors should be swept and vacuumed before additional work begins.
Now it's time to choose an underlayment. Shaw offers a variety of underlayment choices that satisfy a multitude of needs. All Shaw underlayments serve three basic functions. They provide comfort by giving a slight cushion to your floor, they help correct subtle variations in your subfloor, and they help reduce sound transmissions to make the floor quieter underfoot. Some also provide a built-in moisture barrier. Please keep in mind that all concrete subfloors require an underlayment with an attached or separate polyethylene plastic sheet, which keeps moisture from affecting the Simple Lock flooring planks.
Shaw 2-in-1 and Silent Step 3-in-1 have this moisture barrier already adhered to the underlayment. If you're installing over concrete floors, we recommend using Shaw 2-in-1, Silent Step 3-in-1, or Silent Step Plus attached underlayment with a separate polyethylene plastic sheet. 2-in-1 should be rolled out overlapping the poly flap only. Silent Step 3-in-1 should be rolled out with the seams pulled together. Both should go up the wall at least 2 inches when used over concrete. The polyethylene sheet should be overlapped by 8 inches and taped together with 2-inch clear plastic package tape. If you are installing on wood floors, use any of Shaw's underlayments for Simple Lock products. Shaw Silent Step Plus attached underlayment, Shaw Silent Step 3-in-1 underlayment, Shaw 2-in-1 foam underlayment, Shaw foam underlayment. Remember, when installing over wood subfloors, you should not tape the underlayment seams together as this can trap moisture and cause mold and mildew problems.
Today we're using Shaw Silent Step 3-in-1 underlayment. Unroll one width of underlayment along the longest wall. All work is done from left to right as shown here, and planks should run lengthwise against the longest wall, and if possible, parallel to incoming sunlight. Rooms larger than 26 by 40 or 1,040 square feet require T-molding for expansion. Cartons of flooring must lay flat, unopened in the room being installed for a minimum of 48 hours before installation. Allow more time in high humidity or very dry areas. Fill any low spots greater than 3/16 of an inch, and check this by using a 6-foot straight edge and remove any high spots. On new construction, the concrete needs to cure for 60 days, so be sure to factor that in at least 2 months on your construction schedule before you install the floor.
Next, you'll need to determine the floor area that you wish to cover and the flooring perimeter so you can calculate the amount of molding that you'll need. Measure the length times the width of the room with a tape measure and divide by the width of a plank. To conclude how many plank widths will cover the room and how many boxes of material you should have. This is a good time to decide which trim and finishing pieces you'll need too.
Today our room is 187 inches in length and 354 inches in width, which gives us 66,198 total inches to work with. Now, considering variations in room layouts, miscuts, and future replacement pieces, if needed, it's recommended that an additional 10% be added to the calculation as a waste factor. Remove existing floor moldings, if any, except for wall baseboards.
Undercut door frames and lay a loose plank upside down on top of the underlayment against the frame. This will be your guide for proper height to allow installed planks to float under it. Saw the bottom of the door jamb off, leaving at least a 1/4 inch expansion under it. When you are installing Shaw Simple Lock in several rooms, it will be necessary to trim the door jambs and entryways in all the affected areas. After prepping and evaluating your floor space, sweep the floor clean. It's time to begin installing your new laminate floor. Be sure to inspect each board carefully for damage prior to installing it, and check the groove on the plank to make sure it's clean and free of debris.
The width of the first row of planks should be approximately the same width as the last row. This may require cutting the first row plank to a smaller width. Measure across the room in inches and divide by the width of a plank. That's 7 9/16 of an inch. That will help you to see how many full width planks will be used and what size width will be needed for the last row. The last row should never be less than 2 inches in width.
Now the first panel can be installed. Begin in the left-hand corner of the room with the tongue facing the wall. Start by building a 2-row rack. To do this, start with 4 planks. Plank 1 should be full length. Plank 2 should be cut to 1/3 its original length, approximately 16 inches. This will give the proper amount of stagger to the end joints and make your floor more secure.
To lock planks together, insert tongue into the groove at a 40-degree angle. When the top of the laminate edges meet, rotate downward. Planks will click together for a tight fit. If there are any gaps, reconnect the planks. Connect end edges first, then the longer side edges of the planks. Lower the panel to the subfloor. This 2-row rack can be built either directly against the start wall and the spacers, or away from the wall so that you can kneel on one row and pull the second row toward you. Connect plank 2 to plank 1 by inserting edge tongue into edge groove at a slight angle. When top laminate surfaces touch, rotate downward. Connect plank 3 to plank 1 by inserting end tongue into end groove, keeping the edges perfectly aligned. When the top laminate surfaces touch, rotate downward. Connect plank 4 to planks 2 and 3 by joining the ends of 4 to 2. To do this, leave a gap where the tongue and groove of planks 3 and 4 are. Once the ends are connected, place a hand under the locked ends and raise the plank slightly upwards, 1 to 2 inches. This angle will now allow you to slide the tongue of plank 4 into the groove of plank 3. The end joint will slide down into place without releasing. When the top laminate edges meet, rotate both planks 4 and 2 downward. Use this method throughout the installation of the floor.
Continue to build these 2 rows until you reach the adjoining wall, leaving your 1/4 inch expansion space. When a door molding or other obstruction won't allow the needed space to rotate the plank downward, align tongue to groove and use the pull bar to tap the tongue into the groove until top laminate edges meet. If you build these rows away from the starting wall, go ahead and push them into the position now. Be sure to place 1/4 inch spacers at both ends of each row along the start wall.
If the starting wall is uneven, you can scribe the contour of the wall onto the first row of planks. Use a 2-inch square block and a pencil to follow the contour. To disassemble, kneel on row 1 and carefully raise the edge of row 2, rotating upwards and removing planks in the opposite direction of which you install them. Cut at line and reassemble.
Begin the 3rd row with a plank cut to 2/3 its original length, approximately 32 inches. This could be from one of the cut planks from row 1 or 2. Slide the tongue as close to the existing row as possible. Lower the panel completely to the subfloor. In this position, the long tongue will be laying on the existing panel groove. Lift the panel up off the subfloor. Pull the panel on the short seam towards the existing row. Long seam needs to be completely inserted into the groove. This will require slight pressure. Lower the panel to the subfloor. Continue this procedure for the remaining installation. Use 1/4 inch spacers to maintain an expansion gap around the entire perimeter of the floor. 1/4 round molding will cover this expansion gap. It's important to note that this 1/4 inch gap must be maintained around cabinets, pipes, toilet flanges, and any other obstacle in the floor. Repeat the process of using random length start planks to ensure a more natural look. Randomly pull planks from 3 cartons at a time to ensure random appearance. Use cut pieces from the end of each row as starting planks. Always stagger end joints a minimum of 12 inches in a random fashion so you don't show a repeating pattern.
All joints should be a tight fit with no gaps. Stop and reconnect if a joint is not tight or if all edges are not even with adjacent planks. These planks can be engaged and disengaged several times if needed to help make a correct installation.
When cutting the last row, place a full row of planks directly on top of the last row of installed planks, keeping the tongue in the same direction of the installed planks. Use the full width of the scrap pieces of plank. Place a pencil next to the edge and trace a line down the planks following the contour of the wall. Cut planks on the line and connect last row. If space won't allow the downward rotation, lay the plank flat to underlayment and use the pull bar and hammer to tap into place. Tap lightly and follow along the edge until it's all in place, leaving no gaps. When you've completed the last row, you can install flooring transitions and wall trim, and the floor is ready to be walked on.
Shaw offers a complete line of trims and transition pieces to finish your floor, including T-molding, reducers, end molding carpet transitions, wall base, quarter round, and stair nosing. The transition pieces, excluding quarter round and wall base, can be easily secured in place with the molding track, which can be screwed, nailed, or glued with silicone adhesive directly to the subfloor. The use of the molding track provides a fast, secure transition installation and minimizes the use of screws or nails through the decorative surface of the transition piece. T-molding is used when two level flooring surfaces meet, like in a doorway or a narrow archway. In the doorway, center the T-molding under the space that the closed door occupies. Likewise, in an archway, the T-molding should be centered. To install the T-molding, first install the molding track by gluing, screwing, or nailing it 1/4 inch from the edge of each adjoining flooring surface. Push the T-molding into the track, working from left to right. When Simple Lock meets a flooring surface that is lower, use a reducer strip. Leave a 1 1/2 inch space between the finished floor and the front edge of the reducer. Install the molding track by gluing, screwing, or nailing it 1/4 inch from the edge of the flooring. Push the reducer into the track, working from left to right. The end molding carpet transition works great when finishing the floor in areas that meet vertical objects and is also ideal for transitioning between your Simple Lock flooring and carpet. To finish the flooring in areas that meet vertical objects like exterior doors, sliding glass doors, tubs or shower basins, raised hearths, or low sills, leave a 1 1/2 inch space between the floor and the vertical object. Install the molding track by gluing, screwing, or nailing it 1/4 inch from the edge of the flooring. Push the molding into the track, working from left to right. When transitioning from Simple Lock flooring to carpet, leave a 1 1/2 inch space between the finished floor and the front edge of the carpet. Push the molding into the track, working from left to right, and finish the carpet by tucking it between the molding and the tack strip. To finish the perimeter of the room where the expansion space was left for the seasonal expansion and contraction of the flooring, install wall base and/or quarter round. Both of these moldings are installed by nailing them directly into the wall. You must pre-drill nail holes in both moldings before nailing to eliminate any splitting. Be sure to nail the quarter round into the wall or wall base and not into the flooring, as it will prevent expansion and contraction of the flooring. Use Shaw color-coordinated putty to fill the countersunk nail heads. Simple Lock Glueless flooring's easy maintenance and moisture resistance makes it the ideal floor for kitchens and bathrooms. Because these rooms have major water sources, you need to fill expansion spaces with silicone sealant. Silicone sealant helps maintain flexibility and elasticity so the floor can still expand and contract.
In bathrooms, you use the sealant to fill the expansion space around the perimeter of the room and around the flange of the toilet and any exposed pipes. To ensure a full seal around the tubs and shower stalls, use an end molding.
In the kitchen, use sealant in areas in front of the dishwasher compartment and along the cabinet where the kitchen sink is located. Fill the expansion space around the refrigerator area and seal any water supply lines which are coming up through the floor. Remember, you should not install Simple Lock in any room with a floor drain.
Installation on steps or stairs are the only places you will secure Simple Lock to the surface. Be sure to clean the steps and remove chip paint or any old adhesives. Begin at the top of the stairs and work your way down. When pre-cutting planks for stair treads, keep in mind the tread will require 2 planks. Spread the Shawbond 200 adhesive evenly along the length of the tread. Glue the 2 planks together at the tongue and groove using Shaw laminate flooring adhesive. Place the seam at the back of the tread and press firmly. Spread the adhesive on the back of the laminate plank cut for the riser, pressing firmly on the riser for a tight fit. Follow the same instructions to attach the stair nosing. Clean the area with a slightly dampened cloth and avoid walking on the stairs for at least 60 minutes. Shaw Simple Lock Glueless floors are easy to clean. You can clean laminate floor with a vacuum cleaner or a broom. In the event of spills or minor stains, you can wipe up with a damp cloth or a well-wrung-out mop. You should use water sparingly on your laminate floor. Clean up any dampness immediately. More persistent stains such as paint, glue, asphalt, or oil can be removed using Shaw's Ever-Clean Laminate Cleaner, developed especially for laminate flooring. Do not use soap or detergent, floor polish, or cleaning wax on laminate because they can leave a hazy finish and trap dirt on the surface of your floor. Simple Lock floors are highly scratch resistant, but they can still be scratched. To prevent scratching, felt gliders should be placed under stools and the legs of furniture. You should use chairs with soft rollers suitable for laminate floors.
If you encounter minor damage to your new Simple Lock laminate floor, you can repair the site with color-coordinated finishing putty. Start by making the edges of the damaged area even by using a utility knife. Once the edges are straight, apply finishing putty in the desired color with a plastic putty knife. Smooth out the surface, being careful to eliminate any air bubbles. Clean up the area around the damage with a damp cloth. Let the finishing putty set for 72 hours. If the damage is too large to cover with finishing putty, say anything larger than 1/4 inch in diameter, contact a Shaw flooring installation specialist in your area by calling 1-800-441-7429.
Prior to replacing a damaged plank, you'll need to let the material acclimate to room temperature for 72 hours in the room where the floor is damaged. Next, you'll need to assemble the tools necessary to perform the repairs. The tools you will need include a bucket, circular saw, cloths for cleanup, a dust mask, glue, masking tape, permanent marker, safety goggles, sandbags, sandpaper block, suction cup, tape measure, utility knife, and a vacuum.
Take one of the replacement planks and inspect it. Compare the size with the damaged plank to make sure they are the same size. Next, with a permanent marker, mark a rectangle 1 inch inward from the lock joints. Overlap a piece of tape 1/8 of an inch from the joints onto the diagonal lines. Draw diagonal lines from each corner of the rectangle to each corner of the lock joints. The edge of the tape will be the stopping line for the saw blade. Adjust your saw blade to the thickness of the replacement plank. Use a saw to cut the diagonal at each corner and complete the cut using your utility knife. Cut the lines of the rectangle with a utility knife and complete each corner cut. Lift the rectangular piece with the knife and remove. Now it's time to prepare the replacement plank. Remove the tongue on the short and long side of the plank with your utility knife. Mark, cut, and remove the underside of the groove at the other end of the plank. After cutting, press firmly downward with your thumbs and break off the underside of the groove. Use the utility knife to clean up the edge on the underside. Sand and smooth the cut edges at each end and along the length of the plank. Vacuum the area to prevent debris from accumulating under the floor. It's time to dry fit the replacement plank. Insert the groove of the plank under the tongue and rotate downward, gently pressing the plank into place. Use your fingers to check all the joints for smoothness. Remove the plank with a suction cup. Place a bead of glue in the grooves at each end and down the length of the opening. Insert the plank and press gently into place. Clean up any surface residue with a damp cloth. Check the joints of the replacement plank with your fingertips to assure that they are smooth and even. Place sandbags on the just installed plank and leave them for 12 hours.
Well, we're all finished here and the new floor looks great.
It really is beautiful. It's also extremely durable, easy to maintain, and you can walk on it immediately after installation.
We hope you better understand the proper steps associated with installing your Simple Lock laminate floor.
We also encourage you to carefully read the installation guidelines for further details.
For further questions about Shaw Simple Lock flooring or other Shaw flooring products, call the Shaw Information Line at 1-800-441-7429.